This is our Rekindling the Love session, and we're here in the radio studio. I'm talking with my friend and colleague Lezz Boogie, and Dr. Richardson, who's a marriage and family therapist. Good day.
Hello.
Hi.
And welcome to the show.
Well,
it's the
thank
very
you.
first time I'm trying this out. And I think we're going to have a good time. It's Valentine's Day, but it's a little different this year because this is the first Valentine's Day we have coming out of a COVID-19 environment. Of course, things have been a little relaxed because of the, emergency orders. Some things have been, because we've been on our best behavior.
Trying to, anyway.
Trying to. Most of us, at least, right?
I think we've been doing a pretty good job, though.
Yeah, we've been doing good, and so now we can have outdoor dining on Sundays, which is great. Because
More options now for Valentine's.
Because Valentine's Day is on Sunday this year. So I just want to talk about, start talking about, relationships, Valentine's Day, Dr. Richardson, having effective communication in relationships, and what's the importance of that as one of, I guess, the core things in a healthy relationship.
Well, without any effective communication, there really is no relationship. So you're having a relationship based possibly on circumstance, because you communicate in order to know how your needs are, what your needs are, how they can be met, maybe things you disagree on. You also communicate to have some level of understanding between the partnership. So if you're not effectively doing that, then what exactly are you doing together as a unit?
I got a question, though. I'm sure you encounter sometimes a few couples that may have difficulty communicating, like maybe one of the...
all the time.
Well, and probably not just because they have difficulty, but naturally they're a shy person.
Right.
They don't want to shake up the
exactly.
relationship. They don't want to make things
or they don't
like,
even know how to communicate. What do you then tell your couples or people that come to you for help like that?
So I try to evaluate what is their style of communication pattern. So there's usually a pattern for how things happen. You have typically one person who may be more vocal, and you have the person who's a little less vocal. And so things I would have them work on is who's going to initiate conversations at what time, about what topics. Sometimes the person who's maybe more vocal will take the lead a lot more in that particular area, but that other person may be leading in another area. So it's still balanced,
Okay.
but it's a variety of how they can do that. And that shy person, I'm hoping that they're shy with others, not their partner. Because if they're still just being shy with their partner, then the question is, what other ways can we create safety for them to open up more? Because to the rest of the world, they can be the shy person, but to the partner, hopefully they can be their most vulnerable selves, and that is okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad you made that point about opening up, because a lot of people don't feel comfortable opening up, especially men. I know there's 3 women in the room, but that was something that came up when I to prepare for this. I was walking around, I was asking people, men, what do you think? How do you feel? But it seems like a lot of women complain about this too, but a lot of men, they feel fine with, maintaining that like masculine, mysterious persona where they don't have to show that emotion, they don't have to open up. Is that dangerous or is that beneficial?
I think we have to go back to figuring out how would they have learned how to do that. And so most men kind of learn emotional communication not until they get to the intimate relationships, which is in like their adulthood, right? So they're late teens, early 20s, and they're learning to talk about emotions and have partners. And us as girls, we've been socialized a long time to talk about how we feel. Oh, your head's hurting today. How's it going for you?
Yeah.
And so I think we have to go back to that part first to understand that maybe we have to start with how we socialize that anybody from a child's point of view until they get into adulthood. So then maybe it'll be a little easier on the males with understanding that they're learning this. They're like in the training wheels portion of this.
But you know what, too, ladies? I often hear people attribute the fact that we are from the Caribbean. We're, of course, within the Black community. And those are 2 dynamics that a lot of people say affect the way that our young men are brought up, because they're not necessarily taught or trained to, engage in their feelings and express their feelings, because it's seen as being often, a little bit of a wuss. You know what I'm saying? You're not strong enough, man, what you crying for, that type of thing. So I guess they kind of grow up thinking, well, you know what? Let me just sit in my corner, internalize this, keep these feelings deep down inside. I'm not going to really express them. But then that becomes harmful later on.
But I'm wondering if it's like a pro and a con, because it's a lot of you've heard about F-boys, right? And they kind of use this kind of holding back. They don't show much emotion, but they kind of hold back, and they're just like kind of mysterious, like super mysterious. And a lot of women find that attractive, and they don't really express. Yeah.
Right? Yes, that's cute up to a point.
And they don't really, younger women, and they don't really like express that emotion, and it works for them. You know what I mean? And I think it's a good way, I guess, to hook up with people.
No, and this is what I was about to say. I feel that there's a time and a place for everything. That is fine if that is exactly what you're trying to do. If you're on your Tinder and all the other apps, or you're just swiping left or right or whatever the case may be, and you're looking for a quick hookup. Obviously, you're not going to be telling somebody a life story because, yes, you want to seem macho and mysterious. So, yay, hats off to you. Congratulations. Go for it. You know what I mean?
Not for no long-term relationship.
Hello. That's not going to work.
So where does the danger come in? At what point does the danger of that come in?
Well, I think you're starting out on a dangerous line, because at some point, unless you have the agreement that this is just a hookup, somebody is going to start having some feelings. And I'll put it out there, it's not always the ladies first.
Okay.
And so as a result of that, when whoever catches feelings first, then they want to start talking and communicating about those feelings, and then the other person is just like, what do I do with this? So communication starts at the onset as to what are we doing? Are we really just hooking up, or are we trying to be more than hookup buddies?
Yeah.
And then for Valentine's Day too, a lot of people have expressed in their relationships that a lot of times Valentine's Day ends up being for the woman. It may start off being for the man, like with young couples, but how do you maintain that? How do you make sure that this isn't just how we're starting off, but we can maintain this, and 5-6 years down the road, the man isn't the only one like, paying for all the gifts, buying the roses, getting the chocolates.
Yes, Valentine's is a lot of pressure. Like, honestly, even growing up and up to this stage in my life, I wonder why there's so much concentration placed on one day out of the year. I mean, you literally, have 365, unless it's a leap year. Hey, you get an extra day to celebrate your love mate.
I think Valentine's Day for a lot of people is the day to flex, right?
Show off.
Yes, because everybody is in competition to see who has the biggest basket, who got the most.
Are ladies still sending themselves bouquets of flowers?
I have heard
people
that.
still doing
Somebody
that?
told me
I think
that.
that's a great thing, because that shows self-love.
If that is the intention. If that is the intention.
The intention is usually, oh, look what my man gives me.
Exactly.
That's a lot of
And then that is just a touch. I don't want to, step on any corns, but like a little pathetic. Oh my God, I said it. But no, real talk. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing?
No offense to people who do it.
That's what I'm saying. But self-love. Yay.
Self-love,
all for it.
That's a good way to spin it.
Right?
Like, oh no, I'm just loving myself.
Exactly.
They open it and be like, well, why is this card blank?
Just don't open the card in front of anybody else.
Sign is love.
Right? Just love.
Your secret admirer.
Love.
True love.
Yes. Your one and only.
The biggest secret is that your secret admirer is yourself.
I think people just have to get over. So I don't even know if it's a holiday. This day is supposed to represent a day that, if you look back historically, was set up so that, the gift card companies and the other gifting places can make money during this time. If people ascribe to that, then do it. If people don't, let's also not shame them if they don't want to be a part of it. But couples should be encouraged to do stuff all year round. Like, you should really be dating your mate all year round.
Yeah.
So these days are just another day what we already celebrate, how much we care and love each other.
Yeah. But you know what? I think if people kind of look at it as an opportunity to like rededicate themselves even to their love mate, that could perhaps help to rekindle the love, especially in this time of COVID, because I honestly believe in wholeheartedly the love languages.
Oh.
I'm sure you do.
Yes, I have every couple taken.
I think Dr. Chapman is just amazing for what he created with that, and to me,
I'm unfamiliar with that though.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Well, let us school you. I'll let Doc start.
All right, so Gary Chapman, this is why I think about it is when two people get together in a relationship, each person is trying to speak the same love language. But what happens is that most times we both start out, you speak English, I speak French, but we're trying to be in love together. And that's really hard because even though we want to, we're trying really hard, there's miscommunication in language variation, meanings, and everything else. So what he says is that I first have to let you know how I communicate in my language and then tell you how I receive that information in my language so that we can communicate on the same language.
Yeah.
So, because then we'll both be speaking English, but even in speaking English, we have different dialects in English and it means completely different things. And so, in order for couples to work through their love languages, there are 5 of them. So, there is words of affirmation, there's quality time, there is physical touch, there are gifts, and acts of service. And so just to tell you quickly about all of them, quality time, of course, is focus attention time. No phones, it's just you and I time.
Yeah.
Words of affirmation, how am I building you up, supporting you, affirming those things, telling you how much I appreciate you, I love you, leaving little notes around. Gifts, of course, some of us a little tingsy, so we like those things. Then you have physical touch, and it just doesn't mean sex. It could mean just hand holding or a head rub. Yeah. And then acts of service. How are you going to lighten my load? If I, every week, have to get up at whatever time to be to the station, are you up early with me, or are you making my coffee so I can get out the door a little faster? So it's very important because most people then, how I like to be loved, that's how I'm going to love you. And you're like, I don't care how many gifts you buy me because I'm not into gifts. But you're like, but you didn't like that bracelet I just bought? And you're like, no. I don't care if you spent $1,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I like when you say to me how much you appreciate me making dinner because it's words of affirmation.
Right.
So this is how, again, couples miscommunicate because if I'm loving you with gifts and I'm doing everything 100% and I saving up my money to make sure I buy this gift for you and you're just like, oh, okay, thank you. I feel unappreciated and I don't feel loved, but the problem is I'm loving you the way I want to be loved, not how you want to be loved.
Yeah. And I think any couple, especially if they're thinking of getting married, would or I should at least say take the test, because there are tests online.
Yes.
That are free too.
And they calculate right away.
Yeah, it's very simple, very quick. I think it's done within like maybe 5 or 10 minutes at the most. Just answering simple questions like, do you like someone taking out the trash for you, or do you want someone to bring you lunch? Just very simple, easy questions. You answer it. Like she said, it's calculated immediately, and then it's basically graded. I think like from a 1 to 5 or whatever. It's put on a level so well, my top act of service. My top love language is quality time, for example,
And it does change too.
Right.
So couples should do this probably. I tell couples they should do it at least once a year.
You figured that. Yeah. I figured that.
A lot of sense. But while you were talking about cards, though, somebody mentioned cards.
Greeting cards. Yeah.
Greeting cards. I feel like maybe greeting cards could be a good thing too, because many people, they buy all the chocolates, the roses, all that. And of course it feels good to get a gift, but I think it takes a person or the relationship to the next level when you could be able to write something that is meaningful to them. What do you think about that?
If you have the gift, sure.
Everyone
doesn't have the word.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on greeting cards because they end up kind of sometimes just taking up space, if I'm being honest.
Are red.
But
violets are
like Dr. Old notes.
If you have the gift of words, like Doc says, then sure. If it's the card isn't just the words that Hallmark wrote for you, and you managed to come up with something else.
Much people got exposed just now.
In addition to it, and not just like signed
Right.
then yeah, I could really appreciate that.
But I was saying that because of what you were saying about some couples may find it hard to communicate or to think.
So let the card do it for you.
And even if, like you said, like you don't do it on, let's say, Valentine's Day, you do it like every once in a while to let them know that, okay, here, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I'm feeling. It could be something.
I can tell you the next biggest thing for
that's
me
useful.
is my birthday. Forget Christmas. Forget.
That is the day.
Hey, forget Thanksgiving. Everything else. Nothing else matters. My birthday is Valentine's, and everything rolled into one.
Yes, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. So good opportunity.
No, I've never gotten that excited about my birthday.
Oh, we gotta fix that for you.
Right?
Okay, August 14th.
Yeah.
August 14th. Nothing
And you're a
special.
Leo, like.
Oh yeah, whoever he is, we gotta hook her up. We gotta hook up Crystal, man. Yes.
Okay, and how do you maintain mutual giving in the relationship without it eventually becoming one-sided? I asked you about that earlier.
Okay. I think first, each person has to find out what is going to be their thing that is going to be their gift within the relationship. I don't mean the roles. The roles we all kind of figure out, and hopefully couples communicate about what their roles are within the unit. But I'm talking about, so I know I'm a little bit better at maybe making the reservations for dinner, and you may be a little better at paying for the reservations for dinner. So we work together on that aspect. And so I think we have to play up on the strengths. And so over time, I think couples maneuver through that, because the other thing I'm seeing lately is a lot of men stepping up to take more of a full-time caregiver role so that the female may go back and embrace their careers or do some other passion project they have. And to me, that's a great gift, because a lot of women talk a lot about not getting enough sleep, trying to balance it all.
Yeah.
And at some point there becomes a shift, and now this person is saying, it's your time. Like, you do this, I'm gonna take over. And that's a gift to me. Like, that's a huge gift, because you're investing in me.
And do you think that solves a lot of the conflict in relationships too? Because a basic complaint that's kind of, widespread in general, we see it in movies, on television all the time, is that you don't care about me, you leave me home with these kids all the time, and you go out and you do your thing as a man, but as a woman, I'm here, I'm washing dishes, I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm doing all these things. Have you seen a shift in that with the couples that you speak to on a regular basis?
The ones that want a successful relationship, yes. Because at some point, when one partner feels like they're more drained and they're getting exhausted by doing all of the things within to keep like the family unit together, then you start to see a little resentment building. And it builds slowly over time. And so and I don't mean it has to be 50-50, because some of us are overfunctioners in general, right? So, but if I see this person giving me a good solid 30-40% so I can get some time in for myself, then to some couples that's balanced, because I don't mind doing the little extra, but I don't want to know that I have to do everything extra because you feel like you don't have to do anything.
Well, I have an interesting question for you, and that is getting the couples to come to see you, period.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Because I would imagine that women would most likely take the initiative, but I would think that there are some men as well that may say, hey, let's go and do it, and then the woman is reluctant.
I find that I get a lot more men initiating
Really?
when they're in trouble.
Oh.
Trouble? How?
What
though?
kind of trouble?
Okay, what
That
trouble
they
are we
have
talking?
done
Okay.
That, and usually at that point, it might have been suggested, but they were reluctant.
Okay.
And so what happens is now they're calling because, look, I need you to help me get out of this jam.
Right.
And so I'm going to make this appointment, and we're going to come in now. And then the other person, the wife will come in and be like, now you wanted to come in. Right?
Okay.
And, yeah.
And this is most likely because he got caught.
Well, he got caught, or the fact that the
Almost.
partner, not even necessarily infidelity, sometimes it's just because the person was not appreciating their partner, believe it or not. And so that person is at a place where I'm done. I want to leave. I don't want to be here anymore. I'd rather go somewhere else I feel valued. The other end of that is it's okay if one partner comes in by themselves, but what I always tell the unit, what will happen is that as that person grows, then they're gonna eventually grow more distant than you because they're evolving and you're staying the same.
That's true.
So I would always encourage them to come in together when possible because you don't want it's like you have both people at the starting line, but then one person is excelling, and if I make a lap around you,
that's
we're
true.
pretty much
we're
not even the same race anymore.
not on the same page.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So, and you said on that same note of resentment, right? How do you then apologize? How do you deal with an issue and solve an issue within your relationship without building resentment? Like
Communication. That's where the effective communication comes in.
Boy, apologies are hard though.
Give us some pointers. 'Cause it's hard to apologize, and sometimes it's too late.
Like saying I love you and I'm sorry, they say are like some of the most difficult things to say to a person.
I think it starts with having some grace, right? And if you know you've done something wrong to your partner, this is maybe now where the notes come up, right? And if you're not a person, let's say you're the shy one in the relationship, maybe you start out first with writing the message, and then after that, if that's it, you could say, hey, can we talk? I'm sorry. You could start at that place, so it makes you more comfortable. You've kind of eased the tension that is happening because usually there's some anger and tension building up, and then when you get together with that person, you can tell them it's more important not to say sorry than why are you sorry. I think that's where people miss it. They'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. What are you sorry for?
Right.
I'm sorry that I showed up late. I'm sorry that I did not call.
Because sometimes it sounds like they don't care. Like, it's just like,
generic.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just saying it just for the record. Like I already told you sorry. Why are you bothering me?
Yeah.
So we have to learn to apologize because when you have two different people in any type of relationship, there's going to be some misunderstanding. And if I love you enough, I want to understand you. So I'm going to effectively try to communicate with you about it. So if the apology is a note, if the apology is a phone call, if the apology is maybe some flowers with some words eventually, it just can't be a gift. Because after time, then your gifts become meaningless.
Yeah. And apologies can go seriously wrong too. You don't want that to happen.
The interesting thing is now you have access to information online as to how to write an apology or how to apologize.
Yes.
So no one has an excuse.
You have the wiki steps,
the
like
do's
one
and
by
don'ts.
one.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us today.
We're
this was
done?
Great. Yes.
Already?
And it was an excellent conversation. I'm sure our listeners and viewers learned so much.
Thank you.
And next time, I guess we'll.
Well, we should continue is all I'm saying because it feels like we're just getting started.
Yes, I would like to have you guys on again. So thank you for coming, and I'm sure that our audiences know now how to rekindle the love. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.